as you go through these choices, then you're bringing about a much greater honesty. And this is a very honest time in human nature. It's not a time to grapple with anything. It's not a time to have to create conflict with anything. But it is a time to be aware of your responses to what's actually going on around you. And what's going on around you is what's going on around you. But it's the response that you actually have to that defines the role you play in that situation. But it also defines something about yourself as an individual. People are often saying, well, I'm powerless to do anything about that. But that's not true. You are powerful. You are authentic. You are God's. You have everything. So rather than say, well, I can't do anything about that, it's more of a matter of, well, what can my soul do about that? So again, asking that right question. So by putting that, you will come up with some idea or some feeling. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and find the cause or change something in some dramatic way. But it's about the recognition that whatever little thought you have or feeling that you have or step that you take, it is making a difference. And it's making a difference in a major way. And so don't seek for, I'm not good enough, I've got to do it in some grandiose manner. Okay, the biggest grandiose thing that ever happened on this planet, and you'll never be able to match it completely, is when God created everything. That was the big grandiose concept. And then from that point on, God said, well, here, you do it. I've done my bit. I've set everything up. So just come on, go and create with me. So I've set the foundation. I set the vibration up. And so you now have permission to take that frequency and do something with it. And haven't you all had fun with it over history? Experimentations, adventures, creations, destructions. But along the road, you were still always authentic. And now, because the collective energy has got you to this point where we can make something happen, it's about deciding what you choose to do. What do you want to make happen?
I guess like everybody else, I would like to be happy.
You have to be happy. Good. And what makes you happy?
Not being lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Having things of interest to do.
Mm-hmm.
Doing things that are really needed
Mm-hmm.
To help other people.
Yes. Interesting, isn't it? When I think about how you've done that, but at times you've not allowed yourself to receive. And so, but, that was just a choice that you were making. And it's almost like you were saying, I don't matter.
There wasn't time for it.
Yeah, but then you got sort of pushed around a bit emotionally too. And that's not a problem, that's a choice. And so it's not even a mistake. And there's no solution to it. It's actually, well, that's a choice that I made. But then as you got to the point where you decided, I'm not doing that anymore. And so you started to shift your vibration. So what makes you happy, as I say, is decision to be happy. And then that's where you engage in the energy of that. And the moment you do that, the authentic self steps in and go, well, I'm here. Now arrange me. And that's where you start to arrange the vibration differently. But you're still focusing on everybody else still. And you are forgetting about yourself sometimes. And so again, think about that. If you want it all, then you got to realize, I am it all. And that just starts off with the idea, why do I know that I have chosen to be happy and it's really easy for it to happen? And then you start to see what you can attract around you, basically see. But I don't know, sometimes it's like you just stay in the shadows and let other people have the light. And it's about time you had all the light and no shadows at all. Why? Because you can, basically, see. So I'm laughing because your guides are showing me. It's like having your soul manicured. And so you have to shape it nicely. And you polish it up and then choose the color, basically. And you go out there and party. And so give that to yourself, basically, see.
So it can all be done.
Of course it is. Because you wouldn't be here if you didn't think that. And you wouldn't have made the changes if you didn't believe that either. But you see, you're dragging, the old thing about dragging the barge around with me sometimes. And that's just you carrying all unauthentic ideas with you. Your authentic self won't do that. Your authentic self will look at that and go, oh yeah, well that's what I've done, but that's not who I am now. And so I'll just thank that, and then I'll turn and look at that direction instead. And it is really that easy. People don't have to go and poke and prod and make things really difficult for them. You're a very gifted woman. Your enormous ability to care and to love and to heal and to align is really, really powerful. But I don't know, it's like, I don't want to call you a martyr, because it's not like that. But it's this whole thing about, I'm not important, this is more important, etc. But that's your mother's voice. And so there's some good, so there's some conditioning there, you see. And of course, she knows better now. But it's about realizing, I don't need to engage in that soul anymore, because that soul sort of didn't serve me in the way that I needed to, in some ways. So now I can release myself from that and realize that my authentic self doesn't actually need those attachments. And this is actually a really important point to make, because if you think about, I hope you didn't mind me talking like that.
Oh, no, thank you.
That's good. Very important point to make, because as you become more and more authentic, you get to this place where you're developing away from human nature as a need. So obviously you're gods and bodies and you have connections with each other, but you lose the desire for your need to connect.